Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One and welcome to Boots on the Ground. Let's get right into it. If you have anything you could offer, send it to Southern Prepper One, the number one, Southern Prepper One at yahoo.com. The small business of the day shout out is actually a nonprofit. It is called Spirit's Place. It is located in St. Albans, Maine, and it's dedicated to care for cats. Homeless cats, feral cats, and their whole goal is to get them adopted out. They have a 15-acre establishment there, and they run a nonprofit state license, and they have over 200 cats there, and they're housed in a 28,000 square foot refurbished barn. The cats come from neglected, abandoned, or abused, and volunteers are the backbone of the shelter there. I'll give a link there if you're in that area. You might want to volunteer. Also, they'll have a place to do a small donation, and I also urge you to look into your local area if you have a place that needs help, because right now a lot of these shelters are hurting desperately, just like everyone else is hurting. So if that's your cup of tea, checking them out. Let's get right into it. Lumber prices plunged 66%. Last year, and this is because of the red hot housing market is definitely faltering. Commodities on lumber is just crashing through the bottom, which is bringing prices down like they were a couple of years ago. So if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you'll notice that prices are down, which is great. They said that it'll probably continue to go down. So this is a good time if you have the ability to buy some lumber to do your projects. The price of lumber plummeted last year to $400 per 1,000 board feet from a high of 1,160. This person commented on this article, and they said, I work in the logging industry, and as lumber prices skyrocketed, we as the producer of their raw materials didn't make one dime more. Not sure where the price hike happened, but there was a huge discrepancy from the stump to the store. So to say the prices declined, they are still way above what they were a couple years ago. We never stopped cutting logs, and they never stopped buying them, so not sure how we had a shortage either. Someone somewhere was getting very rich. Yeah, it wasn't the guy with the chainsaw or the heavy equipment. It was somewhere in the middle that took this chunk of money. This is a small to mid-sized cattle farmer here in Upper Tennessee. Have had to either sell or thin their herds because of last year's drought. Hay is hard to come by. And if you don't have your ability to produce your own hay, you're in really big trouble. Garden didn't do good for this person. And they're hoping that someone in their family will step up and raise some chickens, since we cannot. So yeah, if you can raise some chickens this spring, it might be helpful. Alleviate the high price of eggs. Plus, help the supply chain. For every dozen you put out there is one less dozen that someone else is trying to find at the store. We bought 5 dozen eggs from Safeway in northern Arizona today for $36. Last week, they were $3 cheaper. The cost of natural gas has fallen sharply since August. The electric prices have declined from their late summer peak, but power prices remain high in Texas and may climb higher over the winter, according to an economist from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. Many residential customers have not felt the impact yet because Texas is a deregulated power market. They're still covered by older contracts with lower rates. As those rates end, residents and businesses may see new offers, which these offers will cost them more. So current prices do not yet reflect the full increase in natural gas costs. So if you're in Texas, be ready, because when your old contract ends, you will probably be hit with an increase. I went to Walmart today. Eggs are up and now almost $8 a carton for 18. Shelves of rice and beans were about 1/3 stocked, very empty shelves. Butter's up, is now $4.48 per pound, and that's for the great value sticks. Canned soup was very low. Meat was well stocked but very expensive. Produce looked good and well stocked, probably because we are close to Mexico, where we get a lot of it from. This person said, I went to Publix yesterday. All the cheeses, these are the 8-ounce cheese, were $5.11. I was shocked at the price, even so more that all of it was priced the same. And this was the name brand and the generic for the 8-ounce package was $5.11. This is from Anchorage, Alaska. No chicken at all in Costco. They filled the freezer with bacon to cover. No eggs at all. They filled that area with whipped cream and milk. Barely any fresh vegetables. And this is coming from Anchorage, Alaska, which is a little harder for them to get stuff because the shipping is a lot farther. I'm a 57-year-old retired disabled nurse in extreme southeast Colorado. Extremely rural, with only about 16,000 people in my entire county. A local rancher lost 80 head of branded heifers, young cows, beef cows, over the holiday break. This would have taken at least several people with 2 semi-trucks to pull off. Other ranchers have been having 1 or 2 stolen here and there, but 80 at once is unheard of. Welcome back to the real Wild West out here with cattle rustlers. Local ranchers are now doing armed patrols of their land and running everyone off, even normal people just driving along the road. Colorado is also culled over 77% of their laying hens. And our moron governor recently passed a law that only cage-free eggs can be sold in the state. Needless to say, this will only make egg prices soar as well as making it harder to keep the birds safe from further outbreaks of disease. Even game bird farms have been hit. A nearby local one had to cull the entire flock of pheasants due to testing positive for avian flu. They are now out of business until they can get new breeding stock from elsewhere and begin all over again. Due to the drought, local hay is scarce and very pricey. I've been having to pay over $12 per bale for the small 2-wire bales of alfalfa for my dairy goats. Also, they did say, though, piglets were cheap. I bought 3 weaned feeder pigs for $20, which is a great price. I wish I could get them here for that price, and brought them home to feed out. Luckily, they'll eat a lot of stuff that other animals won't eat, so that will be good for me, and they'll be butchering these animals for the meat. Over the holiday, a family member of ours had to wait in a hospital waiting room in a prominent East Coast area hospital for over 20 hours with serious bleeding problems. Finally got a room and ended up in ICU for a long time. Waiting in the waiting room, that's long when a person's close to death. This was a surprise event that was supposedly not preventable in a usual healthy person. But if you have any health problems, get them checked. Anything from mammograms, any other routine tests, get it done now while you can get in and get it scheduled. Also, they say stock up on cold meds, fever reducer, cough drops, and get everything you're going to need. I live in eastern Pennsylvania and want to let you know that yesterday I had to take my daughter to our local patient first due to an ear infection. The doctor prescribed my daughter Augmentin, and I started and stated he was going to give me a written script due to the difficulty in finding antibiotics at this time. I took the script to our regular CVS and was told that they did not have the medication. It's on back order. The pharmacist called around to several other locations and got the same results. Then I went over to our local giant pharmacy, which again had nothing. The pharmacy again called and they could not get me anything. Then I started making calls to the local pharmacy, some 45 minutes away, and no luck. Finally, after trying approximately 20 different locations, I finally found medication at Walgreens. The lady let me know they had only one in stock. After rushing to get there and filling the script, I was informed that the price was going to be about $150 due to my prescription plan not being accepted at Walgreens. And I was asked if I wanted to go through with the transaction. What choice did I have? I told her yes, and she came back to me about 5 minutes later. They offer a prescription plan through Walgreens that would save me over half the price if I signed up for a year. I was so thankful she took the time to let me know that offer. So $60 sure beat $150. She and I were both commenting how ridiculous it is getting now when you can't even find medication. This is the first time I've ever sent you information. I live in northern Idaho, only about an hour from the Canadian border. We haven't seen as much inflation as much of the country, nor quite as extreme shortages. I'm not sure why we were so lucky with our egg prices, but they have not gone up at all of the big stores. A 60-pack box at Walmart are still $9.11. That is insane. So I've been buying quite a bit to freeze, dry, and put away for the time that inflation comes our way. However, However, yesterday was the first time the eggs were almost gone. I shop at the large Walmart that has a good 30-foot wide egg section. There was 0 60-pack boxes, only a few dozen 12s and an 18-pack on the whole wall. It was rather shocking to see, so glad I stocked up while I could. Living in Virginia, and for the past few months, none of the stores nearby, like Walmart or Target, have any cat food. A little bit of the higher price stuff in stock, but none of the normal cat food. It's out everywhere. So if you're needing cat food, stock up now. Every time you see it, your variety, get it. I live in East Tennessee. I recently backed into my neighbor's stone and cement mailbox. I took my car to the collision repair shop in town. I was given a date of April 24th. Yes, April 24th as a slot for my repair. They were very nice and apologetic, saying they were really short on help and workers. I'm so glad I can still drive my car safely, even with the damage. I went to my local Costco store for meat, bread, milk, and eggs. I know there's an egg shortage, but it was a surprise when the Montana Costco was totally out. Up to this point, we had been sheltered from non-existent food and gas shortages, not now, and prices are getting higher. Just want to give more information for Kentucky. We live in a major city there. A few nights ago, we were in the middle of cooking dinner when the power went out. It turned out the entire south side of our city was out. We were lucky because it was resolved relatively quickly. We were never told what caused it, though. Crime is worse than ever. We were recently listed as one of the top 5 most dangerous cities to live in. We really want to move out of the city, but we just can't afford it. I no longer shop alone. My son always goes with me. We now open carry everywhere we go. I never thought I would see the day that I would have to take my gun along with my purse, cell phone, and keys. Sad times we live in. Starting to see a lot of shortages, especially eggs. Our local animal shelter, which has always been a no-kill shelter, is now euthanizing animals for lack of space. It just breaks my heart to know this is going on. We already have a couple of pets, but we are going to the shelter tomorrow to see if we can possibly adopt one more. It is worth it to save a life. I want to let you know that Boots on the Ground works. I saw in a report where kids' medicine was becoming hard to get. I picked up some kids' Tylenol and ibuprofen shortly after my 9-year-old granddaughter got strep. Doctor prescribed a 10-day course of antibiotics. Said take over-the-counter medicine for pain and fever. First drugstore, no antibiotics. Pharmacists called around, could not find any. I called the doctor and they called until they found some. That pharmacist filled 2 bottles, made 2 separate transactions, possibly because the supply company has a limit on them. I don't know. Everywhere I went was out of child pain and fever medicine. Because of Boots on the Ground, I had it and I was prepared. Thank you. And I want to thank you guys for sending me this information. It does help. This is actionable intel. When you get something and say, oh, I need to take care of that, take care of it immediately. This person says, just to give you guys a reminder to check out Restaurant Depot or any type of business. There's no membership fee, but it caters only to people that own a business, and you can buy in bulk. So check anything out you have in your area. You might want to check it out, maybe because you can beat the prices there, but also you can find another supply point. So if we have problems at Walmart and grocery stores, you might be able to say, hey, I can go at this Restaurant Depot or this Restaurant Supply House and get what I need. The Colonial Pipeline that I reported days ago, they had the leak. They were supposed to be back up and running. That was delayed a little bit, but they did get it back up on Sunday, so they're up and running, which is great news. I live in the province of British Columbia, Canada. No cold medicine available. No NyQuil, Dayquil, anything. I asked the pharmacist and she said we don't have any cold medicines for adults or any pain reliever for children. And then she stated we aren't getting any either. And they sent me some pictures of the shelves. Just like every other shelf, empty, empty, empty. This person wrote me about flea collars, and they were trying to get some flea collars, and they got some, and then the prices went up. So because it's wintertime, a lot of people aren't thinking about flea collars or any type of pest control for your home, for your animals. Now is the time to look and get what you need before hot weather comes, people have problems with ticks and fleas, and then all of a sudden these items are in demand. So get everything you need now. I got a home equity line of credit with my fixed rate refi house loan 3 years ago. Credit line was a variable rate at 5.5. Then the increases started 0.5% here and there. Is now up to 9.5. And there's no cap, so I'll let you know when it goes higher. Glad I paid that off in time. So it sounds like they paid it off in time, but they still have it open. Also, my credit card recently raised the rate from 21.9 to 30%. 30%. Yikes. I pay it off every month, so it's not a problem. But many people are in serious trouble if they're carrying a balance. At 30%, that would devastate a family very quickly. This is about the LP provider that wouldn't come. I reported this 4 or 5 days ago. They had prepaid and they couldn't get their propane delivery. Update, I drove into town and their office was closed, so I called a number on the door and it went to a man's voicemail. I left one and explained the situation. He called me back. He said he was the truck driver and the only one on duty that day. He was upset we hadn't been filled yet and said he should have filled it. He said he had one more delivery and would then come our way and not charge us an emergency refill fee. We had already paid for the LP in July. We just needed it delivered. I left him some Christmas cookies, a handwritten note, and a $20 cash tip as a thank you. He called me, and I heard in his voice he was surprised and grateful. It obviously meant a lot to him. The good news is we got what we needed and what we paid for. So that is great news. Sometimes people, you need to go an extra mile to get what you need. It was sort of an inconvenience going into town, but I'm glad I did. It resulted in a filled tank and a good, friendly relationship with one of the truck drivers. I can't stress that enough. People that give you a service, if you can tip them, if it's the right time to tip them, thank them, make sure they know you're appreciated, because when times get tough, they're going to remember you. They're going to remember, hey, that guy was kind to me. Maybe I can get over there and get him a service or give him a product because he was kind to me. So it pays to be nice to people. This person says, I have recently noticed more tests of the emergency alert system over the radio. Not sure if anyone else has noticed it. This is from Arizona. Have you guys noticed any more increase of testing? The food pantry that my neighbor goes to recently received a $250,000 grant from the Biden administration. I guess they haven't received the funds yet. I took my elderly neighbor to the food pantry today and couldn't believe what she received. For what she got was one box of breadcrumbs, a bag of apples, a package of frozen freezer-burned chicken thighs, which had to be thrown out, a box of spinach leaves that expired on December 12th, expired apple turnovers, and a box of expired apple juice. I had to help her throw out most of it. No eggs, no bread, no butter, no milk, no cheese, no fresh vegetables, no decent meat, no canned food. A year ago, she received so much food that I would have to help her take it in with a wagon, several wagons full. She can no longer receive a senior box that the government gives out because since her Social Security went up last January, she was $40 over the income limit. Even the senior boxes have only about 1/3 of what they used to contain. I wonder when the grant will be received and if it will make a noticeable difference. I noticed that the grocery stores here are keeping food what they used to donate to the pantry and marking it down, trying to sell it rather than donate it. Looks like the egg shortage finally hit the San Francisco Bay Area in California. I knew it was coming since I've gone through the formula shortages raising a 15-month-old. I could only buy so much with a small fridge. On Friday, I was shopping at Costco and recorded a short video of how people clearing out the egg section. By Sunday, the egg section was emptied out, and the other stores nearby too. I had been stocking up on some freeze-dried eggs, but I know the shortages are only beginning. I've only been prepping for 2 years, so that is good. So I'm prepping as much as I can. So there you go. There's some boots on the ground. I hope you guys are prepping. I hope you're using this intel to be actionable and to solve any deficiency in your plan. Thanks for watching.